Hello and welcome to The Open Ike Show, the show where we open up about open mics. I'm your host, Isaac Heiner. This week's guest, we've got Leah Folta, a comic, writer, performer, and in the strangest of ways, one of my oldest friends in Los Angeles. She gets that. Leah, welcome to the show. Leah, Jesus.
It's okay. I think we should leave it in. I think it's real.
We're going to leave that in. I'm going to apologize now for every time I do it moving forward.
But I didn't tell him that, I didn't tell you that my name was pronounced Leah until I met your producer. So
she drives the Kia, Leah in the Kia, yes. Leah.
Yeah,
Leah, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
So my first question every week is, what do LA open mics mean to you?
I think LA open mics are a place to build community. They're a place to practice. They're a place to make sure I'm keeping up with this thing that is very important to me that I love to do. And you get to do the big shows that feel like they count only so often. So it's a way to like keep it in your life and keep sharp and try to make the big moments really count.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like, how often are you going up these days?
Not as often as I should.
Yeah.
It's been, I think I average like once a week, but if I know there's something I'm preparing for, or it's been a little while, if I'm working on something new and I know when I'm going to perform it, I'll like pack them in and kind of do maybe one a day, like as many as I can.
Gotcha. So you touched on something there. I'm curious, what drives you more, the show or the material?
Oh, as far as getting out to mics or...
So would you get excited if you know you have a show booked in a month, or would you get excited if you're writing a new piece that you want to try out?
I think the show is just nervousness. It's like, oh no, okay, I hope this goes well. And the material is excitement, but that excitement does not get me up off my ass as well as the nervousness of, oh God, I gotta make sure I do well.
Gotcha. And so you're doing some booked shows, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And like, how did that start coming about?
Well, I got started in stand-up. Like, I've been a comedy writer since I went to college for screenwriting, and I've been a comedy writer since then. But I just really started doing stand-up last year, and I got serious about it and got out to mics from doing a class. So the booked shows came from a lot of people I met through the class, and also just learning that a lot of shows have their submissions like in their Instagram, or you can find it if you meet people who are booking other shows. They might know somebody, and then just if you have a good tape to send them. I've been able to get booked off of tapes and email submissions.
Just like a type 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you want to plug the class that you did?
And it's just a guy, so it sounds like a cult, but a friend of mine did it. The man who runs it is named Jerry Katzman, and he's been doing it for a long time, and a lot of cool people have taken his class, like Paul Shearer and I'm blanking on her name, Lisa Lovejoy, right?
Okay.
Am I making that up? What is
Lampanelli? No, I'm just kidding.
No. She's blonde and she filled in for Taylor Tomlinson on After Midnight.
I love Taylor Tomlinson. I'm not sure.
No, she didn't.
I'm going to look her up.
Cut this part. But the class I took is run by Jerry Katzman and Heather Pasternak. So it's just them, but a friend of mine took the class. I don't remember. I think he found out about it through a friend as well. I went to his graduation show expecting it to be a nightmare. I don't know if you've, I think if you live in LA, you've probably been to a lot of comedy class graduation shows in your time. A lot of improv, a lot of stand, a lot of all over. And so I expected it to be a nightmare and just like a favor to my friend. But then it was like, oh, everybody in this class is good. And I'm currently trying to get myself out to do stand-up. So it felt like, some good support and good motivation and good community to get me started. And it's expensive. It's really expensive. My husband paid for it. My career's not making any money lately. But if you can afford it and want to get started, I really recommend it.
Yeah. So how quickly after your friends, I call those recitals, by the way.
Yes.
So how quickly after your friend's recital did you sign up?
I think I signed up for the next one
Yeah.
because I know I was doing open mics with that friend and being very not consistent about it a spring ago, like spring 2024. And I was taking the class in September 2024.
Nice. So pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so I did a comedy school, which I call Clown College.
Right. Yes.
So I did a comedy school in New York. Shout out to Laughing Buddha. And it was like 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And he also runs open mics in town. So you got a couple free open mics every week as kind of part of the class tuition.
That's cool.
Definitely is cool.
Yeah.
And then like a book show at the Stand Comedy Club, like and it was, I mean, they're essentially bringers.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like before maybe you're ready for a bringer necessarily, or like you know what it is.
Yeah, I guess we had that too, where we had our recital and you were very encouraged to bring people. But I guess I'm not sure if you count it as a bringer if you have to bring people or if you're just encouraged to, because it's like you should always be trying to bring people, but it's not a bringer in the sense that like if you don't bring people, you don't get to go up.
Yeah, the way he did it was it would just dictate the order. You know,
of who
the guy
had
who
the
brought
most.
20 goes at the end, you know.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering. I heard something really early on that haunted me that I don't even know if it's true or not, where somebody told me if you have somebody who you think is not great, you'll put them like second or third. Like they're not opening, but they'll go kind of early in the show. And so every time I'm in that spot, I'm like, oh no, like they don't have faith in me. And I don't even know if it's true. It's something I heard once. And even if it is true, it doesn't mean like they booked you because they want you there. Yeah, but
all those comedy rules, you know, it really just depends on the venue.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're doing booked shows, and let's see, you started in LA, right? So have you done any open mics anywhere else?
I do want to say too, I've heard over and over again, this is a horrible place to start.
Sure.
No, and I haven't, or I did. I don't know if I should even count this. I went to London just as a tourist and know somebody who moved there and is doing storytelling shows and started his own storytelling open mic and invited me to do stand up there. And it was like in the common area of his apartment building. And so it wasn't like a public open mic or anything, but that's the only one I've done not in LA.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Put down in the comments if Leah should count that as an international open mic.
I was like, yeah, I'm an international performer now, internationally booked. Yeah, I'll say that when I feel confident about it.
Of course, definitely. Cool. And then so you were writing mostly comedy beforehand, and I know with a partner also named Leah.
Yes, yeah, my writing partner is Leah Woodward. We're career married. We met in college, and when I heard how tough comedy was, and I felt like I didn't really fit in with the other comedy people in my program, like we just weren't gelling, and nobody thought I was funny, and she was the one I really bonded with, and I was like, should I be a drama writer? Like I've just heard that that's like a more socially an easier time socially, and she was like, no, we're comedy writers. And then like soon after we got career married. We are not actual married, but so I've been writing with her since then, like working on a screenwriting portfolio. We've both done assistant stuff in that world, trying to get real jobs until we did get them. We've made our own web series. We made sketches, like just kind of trying to follow all of the advice that people say you should do to try to get a writing job. And that's part of the reason I finally got started in stand-up is it's something I've always wanted to do. But I think this drought in the industry since the strike and just my personal drought in looking for a job is what finally got me up there. I guess it's a theme already with like negative feelings are the things that are like getting me up and doing this thing that I love. Because it is really scary and takes a lot of motivation, like for everybody. But yeah, that drought in my career is like what got me finally out to do stand-up, and I'm so grateful for that because it's been such a blast.
Awesome. So writing for screenplays, you having a partner, kind of someone to bounce ideas off of,
Yeah.
it kind of people get that idea.
Mm.
I think with stand-up, it's a little more of a solitary kind of endeavor, specifically kind of the writing. So does Leah support your stand-up writing anyway?
She totally does.
Yeah.
And that part of it, like being used to writing with a partner, has been so hard. And I'm not being paid by this class I took, but that was part of what was good about it, is how they structure it, is like we all pitch jokes for each other. So
Cool.
that was like a little more familiar in that way. But yeah, then once you're out of that, you got to wrangle your own people who will give you their time and give you their thoughts. And I think it's been good to get more used to trying things on my own and getting it to the point where then the one you're bouncing it off of is the audience, and seeing if they bite. But I'm, especially for like clarity and stuff making sense, I'm so used to bouncing that off of somebody. And yeah, since me and her are still working on screenwriting, usually the one I'll run bits by first, just because he's around, is my husband. Is brutal with his note giving. Just will be like, is that a joke? Or like, does that make sense? And doesn't realize he's hurting my feelings until it happens.
And there's stuff that you can't pitch a joke. You just got to do it, right? It's like the performance is the joke.
Well, and I'm guilty of that, because when you have that rapport with a writing partner, we got used to with our writing managers, you can't say this is the concept and it's going to be a comedy, it's going to be funny. You have to prove it, like put jokes in there to give examples of what you're thinking of, which makes sense. And it's like, I realized, I do that with other people too. But with me and her, we just trust each other and know each other's brains enough where we can be like, I can't be like, this is the joke and I don't have to perform it. But with my husband or with an audience, I have to do it how I would do it, for them to let me know whether it's working or not.
Right. One of my best friends, I met him when I was 6 weeks old, like that type of best friend, just like doesn't get stand up. Just like, I don't know if it's like ADD or something. So
like he doesn't like any stand up.
He had it like early in the morning. He'll kind of like be able to focus on it.
Sounds very much like an ADD.
Yeah, but after he's done so much thinking throughout the day and I'm trying to run the call, I pitch a joke and he's like, I'll call me in the morning. I don't get it.
Interesting. Is it that same like you're not performing it thing, or it just is his brain?
I think it's he has a beautiful brain. He's a wonderful musician.
Yeah.
I think it's like my material a lot of times is like forced confusion or like puns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just he doesn't get out of the confused portion.
Yeah.
But
that's part of what's so interesting about stand-up too, I think, is just like the context of it, especially when you're trying to workshop and feel like decide if things work. Even in the class where it was like, this is what they're used to, is workshopping material. So much of it was like, will that work? Let's try it with an audience. I think so many people laugh when other people around them are laughing, or if you're in the right context to be primed to like accept jokes.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It's really hard in that way to try to run things by people beforehand.
Right. And then at open mics, most of the mics.
That's why you have open mics, is to practice.
You're performing for comedians. And they don't laugh.
And that's a tricky, different circumstance in its own way. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff too where it's like, oh, this guy's stuff kills because he just does material about how hard it is to be a comic, or like, don't we all hate life and we're all depressed? And it's like, yeah, then when you're at an audience somewhere, they're less into it. So I think that's really interesting. But yeah, I think that's part of why, sorry, I keep touching my mic. I think that's part of why it's such a quest to like find your mics, the ones that you like get and you understand the people, and they understand you. It's at the right time of day. It's the right format where it really is like helpful workshopping.
There's no left turns between my house and the club.
Yeah.
I hate that. So you're performing and there's other comedians and they're not laughing necessarily. I mean, do you laugh when you're at open mic?
Yeah. And that I was sort of trained as a comedy writer. Well, and I was in multicam where, especially as an assistant, I experienced that like I don't know if I like should say this or not, but yeah, when you go through rehearsals and stuff, we would do rehearsals where it's just the writers and the crew rehearsing with the actors to see it on its feet. And then we would do the writers, the crew, and the execs. And for those, it's your job to like mark laughs and like not be silent and like help. And you can still hear if something isn't working or if
Yeah.
it's like just the writers laughing. But the idea of like, you laugh now, you tell them when it's working is like something that is kind of ingrained in me. So sometimes if I'm like sleepy or zoning out, I can laugh at the wrong time. If I'm just like on autopilot and letting that happen. And I try to be like honest because if I don't like something, I'm not gonna do it or force it or anything.
Yeah.
But just, yeah, I feel like being generous with your laughter is really important. And especially with the community building, it's like, what are you getting out of being sour to other
Right.
comics too? Especially if we're all trying to see what stuff works.
Yeah. It's tough for me to laugh at like things that are really funny. The things I laugh at obviously are like the really awkward moments.
Oh, so yeah, you just love that.
Right.
And
Or if I can tell something is like truly improvised, right? Like that, because that
oh.
I know they're working, right? And so one thing I do is I try to kind of sit in the front and then really like nod and like smile and be like, that is good. I'm logging that as a good joke. Or if it's not funny, I'm just like, just sit there, But
Do you think that is helpful to them and they're taking that in as positive feedback, or they're just like, what is up with this guy?
I've gotten comments like from the performer that's suggest it's at least they're clocking it, whether it's helpful or not. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's just, I mean.
Well, that's you. That's
Yeah.
you and your brain and how you process.
I like snap. If I really like it.
Oh, like, yeah.
So that's just me.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too, is like there's a difference between like the nod of like, yes, you're saying something true that I agree with and I get, and I'm glad you're saying it. That's, yeah, usually like a nod or like an ah. And I think, yeah, we snap too.
Exactly. So at the open mics that you do, I want to know, are there mics that you love going to that you're comfortable sharing?
Definitely. Yeah, because it's like, I don't know, I think everybody would want the promotion. I was like, is there such a thing as ruining it by just letting too many people know about it? And I don't think so. I think we're all struggling to get people out.
I think, and we can keep this in or not, I don't know that this is going to get to enough people that are fighting for your slots necessarily, at least for the foreseeable future. But
and I think, having more people than you can handle is only a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, if the scene's not growing, it's dying.
Yeah. So the one that I can always wholeheartedly recommend, that's always a good time, always positive vibes, is called Nice Mike. And on Instagram, they're Nice Mike Comedy. They're at the Clubhouse on Vermont. They're only once a month. And their thing, which seems like it would be super awkward, is that they make everybody give a standing ovation in between every set. So again, you think it would be weird and like angry or resentful, but it is just, it keeps the energy high, and they're such lovely people who run it. Katie and Keenan run it. They're the loveliest people, and just everybody who shows up is also lovely. I think it's a lot of people who are also improv community, and just for vibes, that tends to be a good sign. But yeah, that one's the one that I feel like can't miss if you're looking for something warm and welcoming.
Yeah.
And as far as other stuff, I mean, I really like It's Just Comedy in North Hollywood. I think they've built a really cool community, and they are, I think, only Saturdays, and it opens up Tuesday night on Slottage, so it can be tough to get, but it's a really cool setup where it's also a music rehearsal space that people can book. So they have a bunch of small private spaces, and it is very small. It'll just be, I mean, like I think most Slotted, it'll just be you and the 8 comics who were booked for that hour. But yeah, just really nice, thoughtful people, a lot of really consistent people. So it's a good way to meet people and get to know them over time.
Yeah.
I think those are the ones I would plug.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you for sharing. And so at these shows and all the shows that you're doing, part of kind of why anyone's going out is meet people, kind of get to be social. And so when this networking is happening, are you like naturally letting it happen, or are you actually kind of aggressively trying to network at these?
I mean, I guess nobody wants to describe themselves as aggressive, so I feel like I'm being led. But I am a little bit of a robot sometimes, where I do want to know what the protocol is. And when I asked somebody, they told me just let it happen naturally. Like, it's okay if you're not exchanging information with somebody the first time you go. Just like go, be consistent. You'll see people a few times. Give other people compliments when you mean it. That can be your reason to connect with people, and just letting it happen over time rather than trying to force it. I think, especially since people can be so antisocial, and everybody is usually really worried about themselves as they're there doing this. So it's just letting it happen is what I would say.
And do you like give pounds ever after a good
Yes.
set or whatever? You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know if I should say this or not, but I really struggle with it, where I feel like, when I give pounds, I definitely don't give pounds to everybody. I feel like if I'm talking to a comic who just went, I'll say great set, whether it was a great set or not. And I hope people don't watch your
So
show.
if Leah's given you a great set previously, just question everything.
Well, and I think a lot of people do that. And it's just like oh, you're here as well. And it would feel like weird to not acknowledge. But then if you like go on and say other stuff, and also that's not always an indicator if I can give a specific compliment on your set, because sometimes I am too in my head about my own, or or I was like watching their set and I was like, oh my God, I love this joke, I want to call this out to them, but then 6 more people go and I forgot about it later. Right. So I guess the real answer is you like never know if people are being genuine, and I hear that's very LA of me. It's just, it feels like the culture, I think, is like to say that, and that's kind of what everybody seems to be doing.
Okay. I would never say good set except to a friend.
Because you're a better person
unless
than me.
It was a good set. No,
yeah.
And it's what you said, is like you're at the club, you're there really focusing on your thing, right? And like, I don't believe in bombs at open mics. I don't think that's a thing. Because you're going there to try a certain thing or learn something about yourself, your set, your material.
Yeah.
So even like the bad sets I've had, I'm like, okay, I learned not to do it that way. Or something like that. So I'd rather someone learn the lesson than get the false support.
And
there's bad performers.
Yeah, no, and I think I'll just like avoid them in that case. Like, I think if I'm talking to somebody at all, it's like, because it's not like the person who made me uncomfortable or who like really made an odd choice and I didn't know what they were doing. Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't say it if it was like to silence, where you would know I'm like lying.
There's silence. You're like, great set, and then everyone turns to you like, what?
Be like, I know you're full of shit, but thanks.
All right, so you said your favorite rooms.
You're gonna say
strangest setup, right? Not worst room.
Oh, strangest
like,
setup.
Yeah.
Oh, like a weird place. I don't think I can give an answer for that.
Is that allowed? Can we accept no answer?
I don't know. It's like it wasn't like in the back of a Volkswagen.
No answer is an answer.
Like
I don't think I've done a mic.
What about
like
a showcase or something? What about like last weekend?
Oh, Porch Fest? Oh, well,
that'll work.
That was actually lovely.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought, because there was like nothing where it is an answer of like, oh, this was so strange. But I did Porch Fest, and that was very unusual, but also in an extremely positive way.
Yeah.
They booked comedians, because I think it's a very music-first festival, and they booked comedians one at a time in between half-hour music sets with 20 minutes of air around us. So I was expecting it to be really weird and just for people to not be prepared for comedy. They were all in the middle of the day in people's yards. I did 4 shows, and it was just all in a driveway or in a yard. And it turned out to be totally lovely. It was very attentive audiences, very well attended. It felt like, oh my God, what are we doing to ourselves in dive bars and like little closets unslotted when like this works? But I think everybody just was so excited about that festival. And since it's all about just neighbors meeting neighbors and really being there for your community, and I feel like we keep hearing build community, and then it was a way to finally do it. Yeah, everybody was very supportive. It was also my first clean sets, and the woman who booked me for the first one did warn me that kids would be there, and I forgot. And I do a lot of material about polyamory and bisexuality, and you know, I think all of the jokes have places where it's like, yeah, you want to say fuck here because it hits harder, and yeah, having to like frantically undo all of those. But thankfully, while I was sitting through like a half-hour music set, and it came out great. But it was, yeah, something I did on the fly that I was surprised worked, but also it just was, yeah, a surprisingly great setup for comedy, and I never would have known.
And that on the fly, that comes with experience. That comes with, you know, knowing your material and kind of. I'm usually surprised when, because I like to start my sets with kind of some sort of reference to the room or a previous act, or something that's going on, just to kind of, you know.
Oh, I wanted to talk about that. Sorry, I keep going or finish your thought, but I.
How did what I just said make you feel?
Just when you said you laugh when you know that something is truly improvised, I think it's interesting. Well, and I enjoy as a spectator the backlash to crowd work being such a huge trend right now because I am afraid of crowd work and have never tried it. But I think that most audience members are like that. And that's why we love improv so much and why it sticks around even when so much of it can be bad. When it's good, it's so good because, yeah, just we're very impressed at the idea of somebody coming up with something on the fly. So that what you just said about trying to start your set with a joke about the room, I think even though you then go into prepared material, really just helps prime everybody for, oh, they're present with me. I am a part of this. It's not just like them reading off a list of jokes that they came in with. And that is something I had to learn from watching other people and just kind of picked up on. And I think mixed in with hearing people's frustrations about crowd work and thinking about like, why does that seem to work so well?
So with crowd work, do you ever dream of going on with no material?
And like trying...
Just challenge yourself that way?
I think I'm definitely not brave about bombing in that way. And And I should be, and I think it would be good for me. And I get why people are like, yeah, I want to challenge myself and do like come up with no material and see what happens and be okay with it either way. I think I used to do improv or like did it in high school and I bombed my college audition. But I think, and then I did a UCB 101 class like a couple of years after that. Yeah, and it went well. But I think just even when improv goes well and you have a great, I don't even remember if we call them sets, if you have a great show or whatever, performance, the idea that you have to start from scratch next time just makes me feel so sick. And I hate it so, yeah, just sweat right now. Just thinking about it, where I enjoy relying on the prepared nature of stand-up. So I think I'm just not ready as a person. Well, and not pushing myself there either. But yeah, I was like, that's why I do stand-up, is because I want to be prepared. But it is really fun and satisfying when you do come up with that on-the-fly joke in the beginning and it works. That's so fun and good. I have a joke I'm keeping in that was an on-the-fly thing about my outfit where it's like, okay, now I just gotta wear like something like this every time. But I can do that joke and that went well. But
in my bombs, I've got two.
Two.
Ooh.
And you've performed a lot. But so wait, but performances you've bombed is twice ever?
I
but
mean,
so, and the way that sticks out to you makes me feel like, okay, good. Yeah, I should avoid it. But I'm sorry, please continue.
So one of them was, I blame the audience. The other one, I blame the audience. But
yes, sure.
So for the first one, the funniest line was, I was totally going through my written material and the biggest laugh I got was 100% made up, on the spot, and cannot ever be used again.
Was it a comment about how your material wasn't working?
It with a layer, right?
Okay,
so
okay,
it was a
yeah.
joke about Sully,
Okay.
essentially, right?
Like that you're not landing in the Hudson River?
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? And so I made the joke. It didn't get much of a laugh. And I said that joke can only ever work in New York
Yeah.
and also not New York, apparently, right? So it was definitely, it was like, you know,
Yeah,
it had a layer to it. But that got the
Yeah.
biggest laugh. And I can't really do that tag here
Yeah.
so much.
You
So
know,
it's
that
kind of like
doesn't-
wasted. I got to
Material
tour or
about
something.
how we're in New York doesn't tend to work in LA.
Right.
Um,
And there's comics that do New York material in LA.
Sure. Oh, like about the city?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we're familiar with
Yeah,
it and have
exactly.
been there and stuff. But
I've-
I mean, not me.
I have a
but
subway joke.
okay.
I'm gonna have to try around
we
here.
have a subway. It's just people don't go in there.
Okay.
Or the people you're hanging out with probably don't go out there. It's like
Yeah.
tons of people use it every day.
There's a different like punchline to the LA subway than the New York subway.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
live only
Yeah.
in the subway. No one uses it. For
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
New York is better for housing for homeless people than we are.
Mhm.
But oh shoot, there was something I wanted to.
Homeless.
Well, just like with the commenting on your self-bombing too, that's been
Yeah.
something that my like robot brain has been working on. Is it just feels like when you notice how your material is going or how the audience is receiving it, I think in the same way that they like the jokes about the room or about what you're wearing or where they can tell it's spur of the moment. I just feel like that stuff can do so well and can really save you if things aren't going well. But I'm still, working out exactly how to do it.
That kind of feels like a step, right? In like comedy that like the comedians I love that are putting out social media content or whatever it is like, they're all like, oh, I've been doing this for 13 years, right? I'm like, oh, is that how long it takes to figure out how to be present in your material and in the room and shift focus? Like, I've had moments of it, but I don't think I'm there.
I feel the same way. Yeah, where I try to notice and comment on it, and I'm not always right too. So it's like, oh, it really works if you're reading them correctly, but if you're not, it's just that practice and that familiarity.
And then again, it requires booked shows. You can't do that
it's a different audience for sure.
Have you done any mixed mics?
I don't think I have.
Okay.
We were just talking about that before we started recording, and we talked about one that I really want to do, but they're a bucket mic, and I don't know if that's worth talking about on here, just where it's like, if you go to an open mic and know that you might not get in, I have a really hard time making it out to those.
So I'm super broke also, and so
yeah.
when I go to a mic and I don't get my name pulled,
Yeah.
I think of it as just a fun night at the club. Like I went and saw comedians perform.
That's true. That's true. And I
it-
feel like the caliber is the same. It's like the same comedians who are on booked shows.
Yeah,
So yeah.
exactly. And then also, because I'm booking this show, I do aggressively network sometimes, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
It has to be someone who like catches my attention for some specific reason. or something like that. But one thing, so I do funny games at the Elysian.
Yes.
And they do this cool thing where they do a boomerang of every performer and
Yeah.
then post them on their story
A lot of places
with
do
their
that.
social tags. And so I
Yeah.
can just go through that and just be like, oh yeah, I want to connect.
Yes.
And Instagram, comedians, that seems to
That's
be...
the way to connect
Yeah.
currently, as far as I'm familiar. I don't know if any of the younger ones are connecting on Snapchat or something. I don't know what
Discord?
they're
I
up
don't
to. Yeah, Discord. But no, that's the easiest. Like if I want to connect with somebody, it'll always be like, oh, let's connect on Instagram. And I think pretty much everybody, like I only once or twice has somebody been like, oh, I don't have that, but let's connect another way. But yeah.
I had to call some comedians.
Oh,
who
okay,
booked
because
it.
they're not on Instagram, and it's
Well, they are,
getting
but-
off of Instagram is a good idea.
I needed to speak with them, right? I needed to make
Oh,
sure that
yeah.
they can have a conversation or something
Sure.
like that. And
Yeah.
so, but it's 2025. Who wants to talk on the
Nobody.
phone right now?
Yeah, I hope you texted ahead about those calls. But
Probably should.
oh,
have.
that's
No, we did. I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
For those of us who hate phone calls,
Yeah.
that's what it takes.
I have a question that is subjective in nature. And I think it's an interesting question. You can interpret it how you'd like, but I'd like to know, how many open mics a week do you think is a healthy number?
I think there are just different types of people doing it because I have friends, and one of them I think you're having on, where he was like, I try to do 10 open mics a week, and so doing a couple a day. Maybe it was 5 I think it was like twice a day. And that I felt like, oh no, am I not gonna be a comedian because that doesn't work for me? And one of my teachers, Heather Pasternak, I just asked her for advice about that. And she was like, well, first of all, if you're doing a class, like count that as one of your, like it's a time you're working on your material and living in your material and saying it to people. So you are doing it, like at least we were doing twice a week at that point. But also just more isn't better for everybody. Like I believe that anybody who's doing that much is going to get something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's necessary or like healthy or unhealthy one way or another.
Yeah.
And I think forgiving myself about that and just letting myself find my own rhythm and just knowing like, oh, I really am able to get a lot of mics in my schedule when I know I'm preparing for something, and that seems to be my rhythm currently. I'm super new. And I want to have more, and I'm aiming for like once a week, and twice a week is great. So yeah, healthy is an interesting question. I don't know. I mean, I feel like so many of us have addictive personalities and like can go overboard with stuff, but is it unhealthy to be going to that many mics? Like, I don't know, as long as you can afford $5 a pop or whatever it is, then you're fine.
I haven't paid for a set yet in town.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying, and I
Big,
haven't.
brag.
I mean, it's gonna have to happen at some point.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not getting my name pulled at 3-minute mics sometimes. So it's like, okay, I'll
it's
just,
annoying.
you know. But I did do the last time I didn't get pulled. I made sure to go to a different mic the next day and do the set I wanted to do.
Yeah,
so
that's
kinda,
good.
You know,
But like, I need to get this out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and met some fun people there.
Do you have an opinion on what's an unhealthy amount?
1.
And that's like what I'm doing.
You know, it as you said, I think it's an interesting question. I think that if you're doing more than one a day, then you're probably not getting to other things in your life or something like that. I mean, or you're leaving the mic early to get to the next one. And so like I stick around to the end. I'm supporting everyone.
That's a big thing, is don't do that. That's just a dick move. Again, when it's an open mic and all of us are just here for each other working on it, it's like everybody's there for you. It's rude to leave early.
Yeah, exactly. So, and like I said, I'm sitting in the front sometimes and
nodding,
so
wide-eyed.
Yeah, exactly. So it can be obvious if I'm leaving or something like that. So.
Oh yeah.
Do you ever like drink or anything
to perform
before the show? Yeah.
No, I might have done it once or twice. And I think a lot about that. And over the past like year and a half, I've been doing stand-up. I think I've like gone kind of like in waves with alcohol. And especially, I remember one show that I did where I was very nervous and I was very excited to have booked it, and the lineup was very cool. I got there too early and it was just me and the booker. And when they asked like, oh, if I want anything at the bar, I got a drink because I wanted to look like easygoing and a team player and whatever. And then I found out the booker was sober. And so it just, I don't know, it was like, not only am I like overthinking this and putting too much pressure on myself, it's like there's so many sober people in comedy too that I keep meeting that it is just like, do whatever feels good for you. I think the advice to not rely on that stuff is a good one that I've been generally living by. I think I want to be in the moment and not forget stuff. But also, if I have a drink or even a couple, if I have a lot of time before a show, I know I can be so anxious that it does like put me in a fun place and has been okay and good before shows. But I definitely don't like make it a habit or anything.
It seems like kind of at the higher level, where you're getting drink tickets, for your performance, or you get your allotment. Like, there's more of that in like the touring club. Maybe it's in my
Which
head.
I haven't experienced.
Right.
I think it is maybe more of an old school thing.
Yeah.
And maybe, in LA it's out of fashion. And also, I think I have done more shows, or like a decent amount of shows that aren't at bars either.
Right.
So maybe that's less of a thing.
Do you ever get like an avocado toast before you perform?
No, those are expensive. They're not going to give those out.
Yeah, and so I also perform sober, whatnot.
Yeah.
I am not a sober person, and so one thing that getting back into comedy has done is like kept me sober for more of the day.
Oh, interesting.
Which is an
That's
amazing
good.
thing.
Yeah.
I've found 8 extra hours in the day
Wow.
by not smoking at noon.
Oh, that kind of sober. Yeah. That makes sense. And I don't smoke either because it makes me freak out and fall asleep. But I know I forget that can be a thing people do for comedy, obviously.
Right. There's weed comics. And there's like drunk
There's a mic
comics,
there's a mic at a dispensary that a lot of friends of mine love. And I think it's a group that people go a lot and they love it there.
Yeah.
It's called the Higher Mic.
Higher Mic, yeah.
It wasn't my thing, but I don't know if it was like a weird night. But I know a lot of people who swear by it.
And the idea is that the performers have to get stoned or encouraged.
I think that's the idea, but and a lot of them are, because like a lot of people are like, yes, this is a dispensary and I do smoke weed, but I don't think everybody was high.
Yeah. Well, there's a few shows. There's like Drunk History, I think, kind of
sort
of started it, but there's like Drunk Shakespeare or something like that.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, I haven't seen
I feel like a drunk mic. That it might.
No, thank you.
Yeah, right.
or you were like, oh, maybe let's do it.
I'm inviting you to come on to my drunk mic. No, I'm just. I think So here's the question.
You know what? Yeah, I think that could be fun.
Yeah,
if it is like a group of people who knows each other and
Yeah.
stuff, my immediate thought was like, oh God, all the weirdos who like are kind of out of control, or
Yeah.
like I'm excited for them to get.
It would have to be.
It'd
It'd have to be a showcase. I think.
Yeah. At least like smaller,
Right.
but maybe it's 3-minute sets.
So that plays into this next question: is like, what's a themed mic that you've done or heard of that would be fun or interesting, that kind of off the beaten path?
Well, I don't know if that higher mic counts. And I mean, I didn't know if you were going to ask about women's mics, and I've had such a mixed experience at women's mics. But I don't know about off the beaten path. I think just nice mic that I plugged, where the being nice is the theme.
Right. I love like mics that do something different, just kind of change it a little bit or something.
Yeah.
So I haven't done any of the women's mics.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
Well, so the experience too I wanted to talk about, or just like a really bad women's mic experience that I had kind of recently, was it was at a smaller space and it was pretty underattended. It was a place that I know like they do shows, and I had friends who've done shows there and do the mics there, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen this place. I'd love to get booked here because my friends are getting booked here. So I'll go check this out. And it was like, I think a few women showed up, not enough to fill the mic. And the host was like, usually this is the case. And so we let this one guy who's here, he works the door, and like we all paid him. So he's going to do a set. And then he had a buddy who she didn't know. And she was like, are you cool? Like, if you're cool, you can do a set. And he was like, from across the room, like, what does that mean? So I was like, okay, oh no. But she like let him, because that is an awkward point to be like, okay, never mind, sir. But when he got up to do his set, he like took off his jacket on the way to the mic, and on his shirt was a painting of 2 naked women kissing and the text, kill yourself. And so it's just like, and his set was fine. It was mostly about how his girlfriend bugs the shit out of him. It's just like, all right, dude, this is us trying to do a women's mic. But there are also good ones. Yeah. I just was thinking about that recently as like, I don't know. I think there's so many other areas in my life where it's like, oh, this used to be male dominated, but now there's like a lot more women here, a lot bigger like woman presence, and open mics in general, unless they're really putting in an effort, tend to be really dudesy still.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
Were you
I- well, I-
deciding whether you agreed
no,
with me?
the ones I go to, they do put in the effort, or
Yeah,
like it's
great.
like female hosts, and that,
Good.
I think that's kind of a flag that's like, hey, we're female friendly.
I've been to a woman hosted one where I was the only other woman there, and she was so beleaguered and like just like the frazzled mom not keeping her 10 boy kids in line, like, was the vibe. But yeah, generally yes. And again, there are good ones.
Yeah. So let's see, you mentioned this gentleman's shirt.
Yes.
One thing I think about sometimes with my performances is like style.
Yes, yeah.
Appearance and stuff like that.
I think way too much about that, and I love you saying that you think about it too. I feel like I don't know if I hear people talking about that as much, but yeah, it's a visible performance. I'm thinking about it all the time. What is your question? And then I can.
My question is, would you like to talk to me about this?
Yeah.
So this is kind of something I've done, when I was going to shows from work. I
was going to say
my
that's
tie,
the costume is guy coming from work.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now I'm not coming from work as much. And so this is more of a choice, an active choice. But, so the way I think about it, and I think this will lead to the question, is like, there's silent jokes, right? And you're building the character the second you walk into the room, if you so choose. And so, but I think just in general, women are thinking about fashion and style and appearances more. So the question is a bit of a gendered one, but do you feel maybe like a little pressure to kind of consider the look, or is it more of like a comedic decision in your head?
I mean, I love that you're a guy asking this question coming from the, like, talking about how much you think about it too. Because I probably would have thought of it as gendered if you had just launched into it. But I don't know that I feel pressure, as I've generally wondered if I'm thinking about it way too much and more than I should be, or more than other people are who are focusing rightly on their material. But yeah, I just think being anxious about how you're perceived is probably a reason a lot of people become comedians. So that's a huge part of, thinking about how is this contributing to my material? How might it be taking away? How will it, like you said, with building a character, how can it help people get my jokes? And again, how do I avoid having it take away from my jokes as well? And I think with women, there is so much of a catch-22 about it. And I think a lot about just like too sexy or not too sexy, and to like be revealing or not, to dress dudesy or not, to embrace my femininity. Is my age showing? Do I want it to show? Am I looking like I'm trying too hard not to be the age that I am? So much about my hair, so much about makeup. And I think so much of it is just trial and error. I mean, I wish there was an easy answer. I wish I had a manager who would just tell me what to do, and like a person who would dress me and whatever. But
Dave, are we taking clients now?
You guys
I think we got a full roster.
Right. Just cut to me in that same outfit. But yeah, no, in thinking, I thought about what I wore today. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is like dude inspired, but I'm trying to embrace femininity. I was going further for a lot of performances over the past year in the like showing skin direction, just because it was like, oh, a lot of comedians I admire do that, and maybe it's a good way to get attention. And even if it's not really a piece with my material, people like looking at people when they find them prettier or more attractive or whatever. So should I help with that? And
your material, I mean, it's personal,
yeah,
for sure. I think that kind of helped kind of move you along kind of to get booked earlier?
I think that's true. Yeah, and it part of it is, well, that's always the comedy I've gravitated towards, and as a writer, that's what me and my partner try to do, is like, what is a personal thing that you wish somebody were talking about, or you had heard somebody say out loud? How can we like air out a shame or a secret part of your life, which tends to be so much in sex and relationships? So those are things I love talking about. And I've gotten into polyamory in the last few years and love talking about that. And that is a more unusual. Yeah, I was like, is it an unusual point of view? Yeah, it is, because everybody else loves to say, oh, everybody's polyamorous now, but I think not a lot of people are talking about it from the perspective of living it, and trying to make it funny and relatable and palatable to people who are not, is like a big part of what I'm trying to do. But I do, yeah, to get back to your point, I think being really personal is what I've been taught to do as a writer and in that stand-up class as a comedian, and really I think is a good choice for everybody, trying to do jokes that nobody else could do, be vulnerable. And that's not everybody's style. And if it's not the kind of comedy that lights your fire, I don't know if it ever will be, but yeah, that's definitely what I believe in, and I think it has helped me.
Sure. Yeah, I think I'm the same way, and it's funny because like I love dumb jokes.
Yeah.
I love, and I write, so many, but they don't find their ways into my sets.
Interesting.
Right. And maybe like I'll write something and then I'll write a longer piece and be like, oh, this punchline fits in here. And so you can bring stuff in. But I like to write pieces more than bits, and like kind of full 3-minute sets and whatnot.
I see. Where like storytelling?
It's maybe closer. It's a fair kind of idea, but it's just a theme.
I see.
Right.
I see. Where they all go together,
yeah, and
rather than one-liners.
Every so often I'll do like a set where I'm just like, these are all my throwaways. I'm conceiving of this thing called like, just like every joke starts with "I think."
Oh,
right?
interesting.
And so like this is like 5 minutes of just things I think.
I think.
Yeah, and so, but I even still I like kind of having that tie.
Yeah.
To kind of keep the set kind of complete or whatnot.
Yeah, I just thought of you saying that you should try to get on this show. That is a booked show, but speaking of interesting themes, it's called Lots of Jokes. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's like a one-liner show, but it's like a mic in that I don't think there's any audience there. It's just performers, but it's like 20 performers. Everybody does one-liner joke at a time, and then you pass the mic like a baton.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's called Lots of Jokes. It's at the Clubhouse. It might be at the PAC. I don't know if they are the same or they're different things next door to each other, but it's in one of those.
You've noticed how Google says nothing about these smaller clubs? Like
you're
searching.
You Google it.
Yeah, you go on Google Maps and it's like, wait, it's a flower shop, and it's like, no, it's the back door, it's the upstairs.
Yeah, I do still think it's called the Comedy Bureau. That is still a way you can find things, and I think a class is the best way to get started. As far as like, getting your people who can then help you with the word of mouth, and then from there do word of mouth for like mic recommendations. But Comedy Bureau has them if you just want them on a map.
Yeah, I checked them out recently. It's I feel like the user interface could use an update or something.
Yeah. Well, it seems very independent. I don't know. It's probably just like one person running it. But
thank you for what you're doing for the community, and I
they've been doing it
put
for
you
years.
in touch with a great developer.
Oh yeah. Oh, we got the red light.
That's the light.
Okay.
And that's our show. I want to thank our guest this week, Leah Folta, for stepping up to the mic. And thanks to everyone out there still chasing stage time. I've been Isaac, and we will catch you next week with stories from the scene. Finger guns. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Did we get it?